Okay, so hear me out, people. Hear me out. Bruno Fernandes, Ballon d'Or.
One bag of gold medal pan me now.
Yep, that's me. My name is Rome, and this is the Fourth Official. Let's go.
Wagwan, everybody. This is Rome. You're watching the Fourth Official. Go ahead and drop a like on the video. If you're brand new, subscribe to the channel as well and leave us a comment below. Let's go. Now, today we're going to talk about the Comeback Kings. And I started off the day tweeting, hey, Manchester United, I just want to have a cool, calm weekend. Just go out, win the game 3-0, and just let me chill. But just like last week, bro, we had to go and do it the hard way. Because Manchester United, the players just decided, hey, I'm just going to go out and play for 45 minutes. And there's reasons why the team looked like they only had a 45 minutes in them. First half was shite. It was crap. And one of the reasons why was the team selection. Now, when I saw the team that Solskjaer picked, I was like, I'm okay with that. We're good in this team. It should be enough to beat West Ham. But then while the game went on in the first half, you could tell that it's not going according to plan because of personnel on the field. So let's talk about some of the reasons why Manchester United won this game today. Number one, Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes was key in coming on in that second half. And one of the reasons why it looked like he made such a big difference in that game was because Bruno Fernandes came in and occupied the spaces that we were lacking in the first half, where a number 10 should be playing. If you remember in the first half, Van de Beek was straying a lot. Van de Beek was basically playing too far on the right. He was out there with Mason Greenwood. So majority of the space that needed to be occupied in the middle of the park, right there between the forwards and the midfield, was empty. So Declan Rice could have did whatever he wanted to do, bro. He had so much time and space in the midfield. He had time to pick his tackles. He had time to do everything he needed to do. So Bruno Fernandes came on, and then the game changed. Why? He was right there within that pocket of space where a number 10 should always be. Demanding the ball, passing the ball left, right, forward, putting it over the top through the channels, making sure our defenders on. You got to remember, our strikers are not the type of strikers who thrive on multiple touches here or there. Our strikers are ones that are quick and run through channels. Our strikers are the ones that will play a 1-2 on the top of the box, get it back and try to score. So they need a number 10 right behind him who's willing to turn and take risks. So if you're one of them men out there that are mad that Bruno Fernandes keeps losing the ball, then you really don't know what your team is playing, bro. Because if Bruno Fernandes plays and he's lost the ball twice in the entire game, that means Bruno Fernandes is not playing the way he should be. Because he should be out there taking risks. He should be out there making passes, trying to get through the channels. He should be out there trying to put it over the top. That's what a number 10 does in this system. He's taking risks because that's what his job is. So for all you man out there who think Van de Beek is a number 10, get a pen. Write this down. He is not. Van de Beek should be playing in that same position where Pogba plays today or where McTominay plays today. There cannot be a team with Van de Beek, Pogba, and McTominay because there's no creativity in the midfield. Van de Beek perennially and instinctively move to the right whenever he plays. He's just moving to the right, guarding that right side of the midfield. He's not perennially a number 10 that's going to occupy those spaces. Van de Beek is great with one-touch, awesome vision football. Manchester United football does not need a one-touch football as a number 10. We need someone who gets the ball, turn, puts it to the left, puts it to the right, puts it through the channel or over the top. Be tenacious. Rides a tackle. That's the type of number 10 Manchester United need, which is why it was integral. Bruno Fernandes came on in the second half and the game changed. And lastly, for all you man out there, bro, who are saying on Twitter, oh, Anthony Martial is injured, so we get to see a lot more Cavani now, thank God. Be careful what you wish for, bro, because we now know that Cavani got substituted because of an injury, which means this man is 33. It likely will not be his last injury for the season. Right, so if Cavani is out for 2 to 3 weeks because of a muscle injury, Martial is out for 2 to 3 weeks because of a groin injury. We just started the December busy schedule, bro, and now we're out at 2 strikers. What you saying now, fools? And before we go, people, let's talk about the waste man of the day, and that title goes to Timo Wasteman Werner, bro. Now, for all the talk about Firmino of Liverpool, Timo Werner is the most prolific defensive striker in the league, bro. You have to love what you saw today. The man is a prolific defensive striker, bro. Can you believe Timo Werner somehow stopped the ball from going into his opponent's goal, and in doing so, then kick the ball onto the post just for Leeds to come and take it off the line and go and run off with the ball? It's almost like he's trying to stat pad, like he's trying to say, hey, I hit the post today, I'm good. I'm telling you, man. I'm freaking telling you, blood. Timo Werner, waste man of the day. Thank you guys for watching. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new. Comment below. Let me know how we're doing. Challenge me. If you think Timo Werner is not the waste man of the day, challenge me. Let us know. Manas.